Hey friends, welcome back. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Courtney, and I have my two standard poodles, Phaedra and Nix, hanging out in the room with me, so if you see them in the background, that's what they are. Today's video is sponsored by Colorescience, so thank you Colorescience for making this tutorial possible. So I'm very excited because I get to debut their Total Eye 3-in-1 SPF 35 product. It launches on February 1st on Colorescience website, and it will be available for pre-order from January 23rd, which should be today. So this is a 3-in-1 treatment product. It has SPF 35. It's supposed to correct around the eye area with neutral peach tone. And with continued use, it's supposed to address issues such as fine lines, wrinkles, and dark circles under the eyes. So this is what the applicator looks like for this eye cream product. It's supposed to be cooling when you put it on and reduce in puffiness. Now I've already put on my SPF 55 from Emma Diane all over my face, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this on next. And it's actually kind of neat because you just pull down, let me see if you can see this. You just kind of pull down like this to get out product, and then you dot it around your eye area. I did half a pump, and then I'm gonna smooth it with my finger. And I was a little nervous at first because I don't usually use tinted primers very much, but I find that this sort of light peachy color is actually very neutral because it does blend in pretty well with my skin, and it covers up any discoloration. I don't really have dark circles. Sometimes, like very rarely, you'll see a little bit of like dark purpley like right here at my inner corner, but that's only if I've had very little sleep. And this feels really good when you put it on the skin. I basically feel like when I'm looking at it, it blends out pretty seamlessly. You can see like a slight peach tint. I'm just gonna go ahead and set this with the Milani Prep Set Go setting powder and a big fluffy brush. This is the bdellium 787. And I will be primed and ready to put on eye makeup. Now you guys asked for me to do a tutorial on that sort of cut crease look that I did with Stila Cloud, so that's what I'm gonna do for you. I basically used two different palettes for that. The Kat Von D Pastel Goth, which is no longer available, but if you're looking for similar colors to what I'm gonna be using, because I'm gonna be using Meow and Dope, I would recommend checking out the Sigma Creme de Couture palette because it has some pastel colors, and also Darling Girl makes some really nice matte pastels too, if you like loose eyeshadow format. I'm just running my brush over both of those purple colors because I want to create a soft purple transition crease. And then I am blending basically when I'm applying this in circles, and I'm using the Sigma E25 just to build up the color on the lid. Well, on my transition, so on my hood, but. And I'm gonna go ahead and bring this color down onto my lid and my lower lid. So now that I have the purple all over my eye, I'm gonna take another brush, and this is the Sigma E35, and just blend in circles all over to make sure this is pretty soft. This is one of my Smashbox brushes. It's basically just a light fluffy brush that's smaller than what I was using before. I just want to add more depth to my purple, which is why I'm layering it. And I'm not going up quite as high as I went on the other color. This color has quite a bit more pigmentation than the Kat Von D colors. So it can be really easy to go overboard, so use a very light hand. So what I did last time after I finished this step was I went back to the color Meow, which is the lighter of the two purples. It's more like the pinky purple from the Kat Von D Pastel Goth palette. And I started blending this at the inner crease, inner lower lid. I just feel that layering these purples makes it look more, like it has more depth. I'm gonna take the NYX 31 brush with Lilac, which is like a pastel lighter purple matte, and help to blend the outer edges of this right on the brow bone. I just think it's gonna make for a smoother looking eyeshadow look. I'm actually gonna go ahead and do my brows next, just because that'll help me with my eye shape. This is Queen of the Fill in black. And I really need to get my brows shaped and tinted, because they're looking pretty sad right now. I'm just blending that tinted brow gel through my brows. This is my favorite brow pencil. It's the ColourPop Jet Set Black. So this part is probably a little bit different than what you've ever seen. This technique was actually taught to me by one of the girls in the Phyrra Facebook group. I believe that her name is Maria. So what I'm gonna do is basically take the Stila Cloud, and I'm gonna kind of paint this heavily onto my lid, because I want it to transfer when I blink, and then I'm gonna use a brush to clean it up. So I'm absolutely trying to blink to make it transfer as much as possible on my hooded eyes, because that's gonna show me where to take the color to, how high to take the color for my hooded eyes. And then I'm just gonna grab a short little round brush. Until I met Maria, I'd never seen anybody do that whole blink technique, but I do think it really works. And then how far you take it to your outer corner is obviously personal preference, but I'm gonna actually bring some eyeshadow out there, so I'm not gonna bring it all the way out. I really just use this little brush to kind of fix the shape. And I feel like by doing this, it kind of makes your hooded eye shape work for you rather than against you. And then I'm taking more of that color Cloud on this little brush to do my inner corner. Well, really the inner V, but there you go. So now that I have that on, I'm gonna go back to the Kylie palette and use the color Blueberry, which is like this dark, cool gray. It's a really great color. Putting a little bit of that dark, cool gray on the brush, and I tapped off the excess, and I'm gonna kind of go where the color Cloud meets the purple. Maybe slightly above it, and start blending at that line with this brush. And I'm doing this very gently. I'm gonna bring it down on the outer corner of my lid, kind of in the like outer V accent area. And the outer lower lid. And don't worry, we're gonna go back and blend this, but I'm kind of doing a cut crease. But we're gonna go blend it out. So don't think it's just gonna stay like that. I'm just gonna make the other side match. I'm going to go back to Turning Violet from the Kylie palette. And this is another detailed smudger brush. And right along the top of that, where that gray color is, I'm hitting that with this purple brush, or with the purple on this brush. Just really blending this out even more. And we're gonna go back with another color, so don't worry. It's still not gonna be this harsh. Now we're gonna go back with Lilac, which is sort of like the pastel-y purple, and blend those colors. And I'm using the NYX 31 brush for this. I'm gonna go back with Meow, the Sigma E25. I'm gonna clean up the fallout under the eyes and just kind of shape the eyeshadow just a little bit more. And then I'm gonna go back with a little bit more of the Colorescience and just put a tiny little bit on a brush on my Sigma P89. Just kind of cleaning up around the eye with the Colorescience. I did buy a new eyeliner to try. A bunch of you recommended to me. It's the Physicians Formula Ultra Black Eyeliner. So I'm gonna see how this works. And hopefully it works well. I'm really just lining at the upper lash line. I also bought a new pencil to try for tight lining. This is the Wonder 2 Super Stay Liner in black. So I'm gonna try and tight line with this. This is Sigma Final Touch. I'm gonna put this on my lower waterline. I did pick up the Smashbox Photo Finish Eye Primer to try with this mascara, because I haven't used a lash primer in a while. Holy crap. Well, it looks like this is gonna give me some nice length. I almost forgot to tell you that if you use the coupon code TOTALEYECN, which I'm gonna put on the screen and in the description box down below, you can get a free mascara whenever you order the Total 3-in-1 Eye Cream. Let's see how this works. I think I'm liking the mascara and the primer together. I'm gonna put on my Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. And I already have a pretty good amount of glow going on from my Emma Diane SPF sunscreen, like SPF 55. I'm gonna put on my Idun Minerals Nordic Veil Foundation in the shade Urine, mixed with just like a little drop of the Hourglass. And as somebody with dry skin, I really prefer my skin to be glowy as opposed to super matte. This is the NYX sponge, and if you haven't seen me sing its praises, I think it's my favorite sponge. I think it actually beats out the Beauty Blender for me now. So now I'm gonna set it with my Laura Geller Balance-n-Brighten in Porcelain. And I do this because it basically helps my foundation to last all day. I'm gonna put on Physicians Formula Plum Rose Blush. This is absolutely my little trick for blush. If you don't know how far to take your blush, put 2 fingers here, and then kind of do like a little back and forth swish shape. I'm gonna add a teeny tiny little bit of contour with the Physicians Formula Murmur Butter Bronzer. And then I'm gonna use my Artist Couture Jackie Aina highlighter in La Peach. I'm basically gonna use this sort of as like a blush topper highlighter, because then I'm gonna go in with another highlighter. And I'm gonna go in for the coup de grace with my Make Peak Celestial highlighter, my favorite highlight. And I'm just doing this one like right under the eyes, and I'm gonna use it to highlight the eyes as well. So sort of in like a C shape around the eye, and then I'm gonna go under the brow and at the inner corner. Just so I have a little bit more extra highlight going on. So this is more Makeup Geek Celestial, just right under my brows. And then I'm gonna go ahead and highlight at the inner corner with it. I'm gonna add a teeny tiny bit more blush with Urban Decay's Rapture, just a really tiny bit. I'm excited because I have a new lip product to try. This is Marc Jacobs, and the color is on here somewhere. night mauves, like night moves. So I just put on Marc Jacobs Night Moves Lip Pencil. This is actually from their, I think, new liquid lipstick line. Yeah, it's the new liquid lip crayon. So I'm really excited to try this. I'm gonna put a teeny tiny bit of Huda Beauty Snobby at the center of my lips. This is from my new Give Me Some Lip Kit from Sephora. I'm back from having to take Nyx outside to go potty. It was a very impromptu potty break in the rain. And I ended up blotting this because the gloss made the lipstick come off of my teeth, which I hate. I do like the slightly iridescent effect from it though. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in so you can see the finished eye look. So here's the finished eye look. I want to say thank you again to Colorescience for sponsoring this tutorial. Let me know if you decide to check out the Total Eye 3-in-1 Renewal Therapy SPF 35 product. I really do love it as an eye primer and color corrector, and I think it's awesome that it has extra skin benefits for fine lines around the eyes and the SPF 35, because you know I'm crazy about wearing SPF since the sun is so brutal here in Florida. If you liked this video and found it fun, entertaining, and helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share. I love it when you share my videos and it really helps me out, so thank you very much. And if you haven't already, click on that little subscribe button down below and I'll see you in my next video.